Welcome Taurus, your in-depth monthly forecast for January 2025 for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. I'm going to share some standout details particularly specific for you, then on screen your event chart right at the start of the month and of course the year. That provides some very important information to guide us. Then, as events unfold, I'm going to explore those frame by frame to give you a clear understanding of what January 2025 holds for you. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell, wishing you all the best for year 2025. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining me. This is very much a community. If you have any thoughts, please do share them. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, we have found that 50% of people who regularly watch my videos are not subscribers. Please help the channel to thrive. Click that sub button, but also the bell notification symbol. Also, please like and share my videos too. If you'd like to order your year 2025 personal forecast based on your unique birth data, if you order in 24 you'll get the rest of the year free. In 25 you'll get a full 12 months from the time of the order. You'll also get my free gift of your zodiac, general, love, Chinese and Vedic forecast, as well as 30% off and your life roadmap report. Your life roadmap report is particularly influential because this helps you to understand the patterns that are played out in your life so far. The forecast helps you to time your moves, because knowing when the planets are helping or perhaps resisting your efforts is a critical feature of working with astrology. If you'd like to order from a whole sign perspective, a solar perspective if you don't know your time, draconic perspective if you'd like your soul perspective, please see the links below for more. Also, if you'd like to have a one-to-one with me, I am a consulting astrologer. Please check out my testimonials below and you can read exactly what people have said. I don't edit these at all. So Taurus, on the screen now you can see the event chart. As ever, we need to be mindful of the two luminaries, the Sun and also the Moon. Now they're very close together, the Moon's separating from the Sun, and it's because on the 30th of December there was a new moon in the sign of Capricorn, which shares your Earth triplicity. And the implications of this is it's perhaps asking you to be open to not just change, but perhaps travel, but perhaps new experiences, but also perhaps learning new skills. But part of your innate nature is to stick with what you know, because your appreciation of continuity gives you a sense of security. Now Uranus has undoubtedly been challenging that since March 2019, and it does at the start of this year, but it can be in a positive way. But you can see your ruler Venus in the 10th house. That's in a square with Uranus too. So this could have an impact on certain relationships, and in fact if you are in a personal relationship that you feel hemmed in by, that you don't really feel that you can be a free spirit, you could think very seriously this month about what to do. But also as the month begins, Saturn, the planet of structure but also of boundaries in your 11th house, that's very much about your future hopes. And when it comes to finance, Jupiter, the planet of fortune, in its retrograde still, is squaring off with Saturn. So again, as you're thinking and computating in your mind what your options are, part of it could be about being realistic about resources, but that could in some ways contain another part of you that may want to break free. So that can create some conflict, some inner conflict within you. But also you can see that Pluto is right at the top of your chart. And we also have Mars right at the bottom of your chart. So if we're talking about angularity, those are definitely the two most important influences at the start of this month and year. So Pluto can make you ambitious, but Mars in your 4th house can make you prickly with people close to you if they don't buy into what you're trying to go for or they try to resist it. Some power battles are possible. These can all crest up by the 3rd. Venus then moves from your 10th house into the 11th. The 11th can be about collaboration, and for sure Venus moving into this area is asking you to celebrate the things you have in common, even if there are some parts of certain associations which don't quite work for you. But also on the 3rd, we have that direct opposition between Mars and Pluto. Is there a link? Are you feeling, in order to get what you need, whether it's around a relationship or money, that you may need to reset your aspirations, which is what the 11th house is about? Venus is going to connect on the 19th with Saturn. In fact, in week 3, they're side by side. If there is someone in your friendship circle, or there is a future hope that you have that isn't going to work out, you'll probably find out then. But also on the 3rd, Mercury ends a post-retrograde shadow. If you've been waiting for some news on an insurance payout, a legacy, an inheritance, perhaps some pension information, you should get that news then. But the 6th sees Mars invert back into your 3rd house. Now I actually think for you, despite the fact that he is continuing his retrograde through to the 24th of February, this can actually be very good for you, because I feel it can charge you up, give you a closer connection to the ideas that are exciting you. And whilst Mars does apply to the full moon, which occurs on the 13th, and that could see you having an intense discussion with someone who has different values or different world views, what Mars can do is give you more assertion about standing up for what's right for you. In fact, that freedom agenda is emphasised on the 8th with Mercury moving into your sister Earth sign of Capricorn. But we also have on the 11th perhaps the most important single date of the whole year, and that is the true north node inverting back into your 11th house. Hasn't been here for 17 years. If you think back to 18 and a half years ago, that's when you were last connected to this energy, which is really like a draw towards what really works for you in the long term. And sometimes that means trusting our instincts rather than following or being led by the facts. So that's a really interesting development. But just to let you know that throughout this year, Saturn and Neptune are going to be impacting on a series of eclipses across the 2 signs of Pisces and Virgo, which for you is 5 in terms of the south node, 11 the north node. So how do you express yourself but link that to your long-term future? That's going to be a big part of this month's journey with Venus connecting to Saturn on the 19th, but also a big part of this year. Then we have that full moon. There could be a lot of tension if you are around someone who has a very different set of ideas or wants to enforce their opinion upon you, which you could resist. You may find yourself very, very restless. If you're not particularly satisfied with where you're living, that could give you, this full moon can give you the impulse to apply for a new rental, list your owned property and try and get that moved, because especially with the link to Uranus as well as the conjunction with Mars, you really are going to have so much excess energy. You need to invest it in something. One of the things you could do is get a little bit more active. If you set your New Year's resolutions, and getting fitter is part of what appeals to you, that 9th house energy at the start of the year can certainly give you the push to be a bit more vigorous, to get into the great outdoors in a much more profound way, and that full moon can give you an extra push in that regard. Now the 19th sees the Sun climb to the top of your chart, where of course we have Pluto now full time, and they come into an exact conjunction on the 21st. If you are having some kind of power battle, whether it's with someone that you're seeing who thinks they know best, or it is an employer or a line manager, or you work in a big corporation and you don't really feel seen or heard, the transformational energy of Pluto in the last 10 days of this month is very strong indeed. But the interesting thing is that Mars in Cancer links back to Uranus in your sign. So your desire for change, which is something you often resist, once more is emphasized. Also Mars links back to Neptune in your the part of your chart to do with your long-term plan, but also your idealism. And again, you can feel yourself just more open to an alteration than perhaps is normally said to be the case with you, where your fixed nature means that continuity really makes your heart sing. Also, the moon is exalted in your sign, so that's the second best position after Cancer. That's why your home, your immediate environment, is often so important to you. But the 28th sees Mercury join up with the Sun and Pluto in Aquarius. 29th, the new moon in Aquarius. The 30th, the ruler, modern ruler of Aquarius, goes direct, ending a long backward journey. So, of course, Uranus in your sign. If you have felt that you've been treading water a little bit since the end of August, feeling edgy but not sure why, don't really know what to do with the nervous tension you've had, I think by the end of this month, whether you want to change a relationship, your lifestyle, your interests, where you live, or where you work, change seems to be calling out to you. And the more you resist it, Taurus, the more it can create tension, headaches, migraines, and see you a little bit stressed out. So part of the process this month is accepting that even if we'd all like to have that continuity is pulverizing your passion and you're losing your sense of identity, this month is really pushing you to step outside your comfort zone and demonstrate to people all the lessons that Pluto gave you since 2008 in the 9th house, and Uranus with you since 2019 full time, that you can alter things, you can approach things in a fresh way. And if you embrace that this month, some really incredibly exciting opportunities can start to flow for you. A great month, and do check out your year 2025 deep dive video by clicking on the link underneath this one.